All right, let's see here. Part two. So the last video was interesting because it was on the market research stuff. I'll do a summary of this stuff where it's a 5-minute summary of things we learned. There's so much I could talk about in the last video. Some cool things I learned about the coffee industry, but also some things about ChatGPT. I learned one of them was confirmation bias. It's really easy to do with ChatGPT. But I'll talk about the summary video. So this video or session is just about product outcomes, opportunities, solutions, really just product strategy and what kind of product can we build with some of this market research we did. Even though a lot of that market research that ChatGPT spat out was wrong. But with that in mind, so the goals of this video would be, what are customer problems, or what are coffee drinker problems, really coffee industry problems, opportunities, those problems in the space. If we impact some of those, what would be an interesting outcome from that? And then maybe we'll get into solutions. I don't know. We'll see. But I doubt we'll get into solutions in this because this is just going to be fun stuff. So let me just, let's see here. So what are some, start asking questions, right? I actually did a little bit of this too beforehand. I have preset questions I want to ask later on and to help come with ideas if we get into solutions, but we won't do that right now. Main problems. Let's get really broad first. The coffee from the tray. We can get to smaller, real specific. Yeah, number one, that's curious. Let me blow this up so you can probably see that a little better. That's better, right? There you go. Man, those are really high. If you ask a high-level vague question, you get a vague answer, right? Okay. What are some of the main problems coffee stores face? Seasonal fluctuation in demand? Really? Is that all right. How does the coffee industry season fluctuate? I didn't know there was a coffee fluctuation. I mean, I guess it's when you're growing the beans, maybe. Crop cycle. Okay. Yeah. There you go. Perennial crop, right? Coffee cherry. Didn't know that. Oh, okay. Cool. Learn something new. This is definitely true of most small businesses. This is interesting. That's, again, typical small business problem. Keeping up with trends in brewing techniques. That's interesting. What are some trends? Wow, what? What are some trends in brewing techniques, business equipment? Curious. Don't know anything about that. Huh. Oh, no. I didn't even test my audio to make sure that hopefully my audio is working. Specialty coffee. third wave coffee is a term used to describe a movement that focuses on sourcing, roasting, in a way that highlights unique characters and flavors. I wonder if is the third wave the like $1,000 a pound stuff we learned from the last session? Sustainable practices. That's cool. Real cool. This is cool too. I'm actually into that. There was a cool company a while ago that made this coffee machine called a Clover machine, and Starbucks, I think, bought them, and they had them in their Starbucks reserves. So good. That's the only Starbucks coffee I've ever liked, and I hate Starbucks coffee. And man, it was so good. You go in there, and they kind of pick your beans. They put them in there, and it like adjusts the temperature based on the source that it came from, and blah 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 blah. Like it's all computerized. You type in and stuff. And man, it was a really good cup of coffee. But there's no Starbucks reserves anymore. Like you can't find them anywhere. So hence you can't find these Clover machines. Okay, actually this is pretty useful. Okay, so this is cool because here's the deal. When you're trying to find problems that your business, your product can address, this is actually gives me a couple places to go down and think about. So kind of useful. We go back up to coffee stores because we're still talking about coffee stores. That's just typical restaurants, right? So a lot of this is small business problems. This is interesting. Because I probably can't get more market research out of it. Let's just see. Who in the coffee industry has the most limited customer loyalty and high? Actually, like Dunkin' Donuts doesn't have high turnover, do they? Or Starbucks is they're kind of like cult. Like, okay, here we go. Let's do the intense competition phase. Independent coffee shops. Oh, well, that's good. Wait. Okay. Okay. This is the kind of thing when I meant when it's like confirmation bias or whatever this is called. I'm kind of leading the witness and that is giving me the answer. If I were to challenge it and say, why did you tell me this? I bet you would apologize. Actually, let's just see that. Why did you tell me that independent coffee shops have limited customers when you also said limited controllability? You said other independent. Help if I could spell independent. Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. So again, this is leading the witness. This is one of the problems if you're not careful. It's why ChatGPT is really not for this kind of like certain kind of research. I'll talk about that in a summary video, but you have to be careful with that because you can literally have it convince you that 2 + 2 isn't 4. And that's not, by the way, that's not ChatGPT's fault. A couple of people say that like, well, it's not right, it's not accurate, it's not this. If you consider what it's for, actually what GPT stands for too, I think you would understand what it's really good at and what it's not really good at. And the whole point of this video series too is to kind of like all these people on Twitter saying, "Oh, do this. I did this with ChatGPT, and you can do this." And it's like they're painting it like it can do everything. So kind of the point of this series is like, hey, let's just try to build a business case out of it and to demonstrate that maybe you shouldn't use ChatGPT for everything. And also, there's a lot of great things that you can use it for too. So anyway, so let's go back to. I really like this. Coffee stores face several problems or challenges. So let's get like, okay, so coffee stores. What about in what kind of challenges do individual coffee roasters, is that what you call them? I don't know. What do you call someone or an individual that roasts coffee? Roaster, right? What kind of challenges do individual coffee roasters kind of business challenges kind of? Well, let's do challenges. Okay, that's good. Kind of blending some things. It's blending, like some of this is interesting because it's not as much business. It's just personal. Like I want to roast some coffee, a free, you just do it in your home as a hobbyist. And then some of this is business, which is related to coffee shops. This and this. Cool. All right. Let's see. What was the question to ask? An individual coffee. What kind of? How do individual roasters sell their coffee? Is it like, what do you call a freelance coffee roaster? There's people that buy their own roasters, they have it in their house, and then they sell it to people. Okay, this is like, I get this. Yeah. It's fine. Etsy? You can sell coffee on Etsy? No, you can't do that. I'm going to Etsy right now. I'm not going to share the tab. I'm just going to search for it. Okay, so coffee. Oh, they don't sell food? Coffee. They do. 5 pounds of green coffee beans. Oh, wait, these are ads. Still. All right, let's click on this. What? No way. You can buy coffee beans on Etsy. I had no idea. Huh. Who knew? Well, apparently I don't know a lot about Etsy, so learn something new every day. Cool. All right, what else we got? It's cool. That is cool. Fun. The Etsy, okay, that's kind of intriguing me actually. So what? Play and Etsy grocers. Like, this is a stupid question, but it actually has got me thinking about that. An Etsy for coffee. Huh. I wonder if that exists. Oh my word, it's going to give me like actual product requirements. You need a profile for coffee roasters. That's great. I love it. Of course we need this. Oh, we need customer orders. Yeah, I think. Oh, it's giving me subscription ideas. That's actually kind of funny that it's giving me that. Does Etsy have subscriptions? No. Buy stuff on it, right? You can't do subscriptions on that. So I'm looking out and see it. And I love this. This is actually really cool that it suggested this. This is interesting, actually. Huh. Hmm. This is, by the way, I feel like this is a lot more interesting than the last video. Last video gave me a lot of market industry garbage. This is, a lot of this stuff is obvious, but it's intriguing too. So, back to problems. All right, let's do this. What are problems coffee drinkers run into? Find a good cup of coffee. I'm gonna laugh at it. It says they see Starbucks and don't want it. That's my problem. This is similar to the other problem, so it's kind of like just regenerating some of the same things. But the cost thing's funny. I mean, for real, like you got to just this local coffee shop here. It's $5 for a pour over. Or no, actually, it was $7 for a pour over the other day. Crazy. All right, it's funny. It's similar concepts, but tailored to the context of the question I asked. Fun. An Etsy for coffee. I can't get away from this. That's actually intriguing to me. Fun. I wonder how deep into business stuff does it get. Maybe I won't do that right now, but like I'm trying not to jump into solutions because I want to start asking it things or plugging in things that will help build a solution, but I'm trying to stay away from solutions right now and just kind of staying in the opportunity space. Um, do they actually say that? Does somebody say, do you have any single origin beans? I mean, I guess I've asked a similar question, just not so like structured like that. Fine. Actually, some of these are pretty good. I'm looking for a decaf option. I've never said that. Can I have a sample of coffee do you use? Okay. That's interesting. All right, let me go back to the roaster, the indie roaster, because if we're talking about Etsy, so if I want to sell I just roasted, I sell it, buy it. Yeah, it's going to tell me the same thing. All right. All right, this is the same kind of thing. I'm going to stop generating. Back to the drinker. How would I know what each coffee is most popular among city? Actually, a thing. Okay, thank you. So let me Google that for you. From the conduct surveys. Okay, that it's just too businessy now. Maybe because of all the context, it's like that. So, let's just say we're going down the Etsy route. So it's a marketplace route, trying to connect indie roasters with folks. So outcomes for a business that connects. How do you roasters with drinkers? I see for coffee. This just sounds hilarious to me. Uber for coffee. Outcomes for a coffee business that connects indie roasters with drinkers would be the following. So let's just say not business outcomes, but like we're starting it up. What do we want as a business, or as a product that you're starting up, trying to get people to try it out? So I would say one would be early coffee drinker adopters. I guess is that what you would call that? People that, yeah, I don't know. Early niche coffee shop owners, I guess, and roasters. And then I guess an outcome for some startup, put startup in here, would be testing out a subscription for users. They may subscribe and get being lectured on by, I don't know. So gonna know what I mean by platform. Let's see. Would be kind of cool to do a membership. It's kind of an interesting idea. Yeah, I mean, I already, again, back to leading the witness. I already said that. I basically said that in the question. Oh, I didn't ask the question. I just said that. Sorry. Okay. Oh, it gave me, okay. It is the outcast just be filling a low base, visibility, product transparency. This, yeah, this would be cool. With those provided outcomes, the best kind of trust. Come and get the outcomes. Like, this is so vague. I'm going to get such a big, vague, giant answer, but that's okay. Get more specific later. That's funny. In nowhere did we use the word e-commerce, so that's interesting. So the stuff we already talked about. It's kind of cool. I like how it says secure payment options and payments capitalized. Oh. Can I offer insecure payment options? That's not bad, actually. I mean, that's kind of you would assume this is the stuff you would build kind of intuitively. I like how they kind of pitched like some of the problems. Like, if you do this, it addresses the problem with the ethically sourced thing that was stated before. So that's kind of clever. Yeah. All right. I think that's good for tonight. I'll get more into this more. I'll start like diving into some solutions. These are solutions for these opportunities. So maybe we'll do another session more specific to the solutions and see what kind of solutions we can come up with. Pretty cool though. Actually, this was a lot better than the previous video. So cool. All right. We'll see what happens next.